What's good, traders? It's your boy PhilSFX here, and today let's analyze the charts together, let's learn together, and let's spot out market opportunities in which we can take advantage of.
Okay, traders, once again I say welcome back to the channel. So we are going to start our analysis. As usual, we do the top-down analysis, and with the top-down analysis we start analyzing from the higher time frame to the lowest time frame possible. So we are going to start on the weekly time frame. Let's go to the weekly time frame, and here is the weekly time frame. And as you can see, the first thing we are going to map out on the weekly time frame is our key support levels, which you can see one here and another one to the upside. So let's mark out that one, this point here. So now we see that market first of all was pushing to the downside. We can see that it was a bearish trend actually, but when market came down to this support level here, it started facing some difficulties to break through the support level to go to the downside and started rejecting back up to the upside. And now what we can see is we have a trend line where market is gradually approaching, and so we map out the trend line from here to here. That is very perfect. From that the all-time high that USD CAD went to the next higher low that it touched before hitting this resistance point below here, and market is gradually pushing back into that zone. And you see something that seems like a triangular pattern that market is trying to form. So we have an edge to say market is gradually moving towards this trend line that we have here. And beyond the trend line, equally we have what we call a supply zone up there, a supply zone, an AVG that was not filled. We have an AVG here, and for those who doesn't know what an AVG means, it's a fair value gap. That is a fair value gap here, and that is on the weekly time frame. So, and that fair value gap aligns with our trend line. So now we are not going to dwell much on that. We are going to go directly to the daily time frame and see what's happening. So now on the daily time frame, let's zoom in and see what's happening on the daily time frame. Okay, that's right. On the daily time frame, we see that there was a series of consolidation around this point. There was a lot of consolidation on USD CAD around this point. So let's mark out this zone. You see that within this zone, market have been consolidating within this zone for a very long period of time, and now market is attempting to break above that zone. And what happens when market break above a particular zone which it has faced a lot of resistance to break above that zone? What always happens most of the time is that market is going to give a retest and push strongly to the upside. So that's what we are trying to see here. So let's mark out that resistance point very well. And we are always being advised to treat our support and resistance as a zone and not a line, because the market may get to that place and it will trick you thinking that it have broken below the line, whereas it's still on that same zone. So this is the actual zone on the daily time frame. So at this point, what are we expecting to see? So we have the highest probability that market may perform at this point is to break above this resistance here, this resistance level, like from here, then give a retest and push all the way to the upside, and probably fill this AVG that we saw here on the weekly time frame. So that is what we should be anticipating from this point. But still, notwithstanding, we are still on the daily time frame, so we don't take any trade on the daily time frame. We are still confirming if the market is changing back direction to the upside. So now we go now to the 4 hours time frame, which is another suitable time frame. And on the 4 hours time frame is where we are going to have maybe some sort of a confirmation if this market will break above or might definitely reject from here and fall back below. And the 4 hour time frame, we see that there is a need for us to readjust our zone. So we are going to readjust our zone up to this point. Yes, because this is a market where market have been ranging for a while. So now market is still within this zone. So if now you are using a line at this point, let's take for instance a line. We say this is equally for educational purposes rather. So if we're using a line at this point, when market came here, you would have assumed that market have broken above, whereas market is still on that same zone. You get the point now. So you will be tricked. That will be that's a false breakout. That's how we call it, a false breakout, and that will make you into taking an entry there, whereas market will sweep you off before moving to your initial direction. So now what are we looking forward to see? If market breaks above this zone, market is going to go higher until it touches that our trend line or fill that FVG to the upside. But what if this does not happen? Now this is where things get a little bit interesting. We see another point here. This was where market left before going to the upside. Don't forget the wick of this candle below here. This was the recent low that market created before pushing right up to that end. So now this was like, because now you can see that market is creating a series of higher high and higher low. And for those who cannot pick it out clearly, let me show you. This was the recent high here, and then this is the recent high, rather recent low here, and market pushed right up the way here and pushed back, giving a recent low, and now it came here to give another high but faced resistance to break above this high, and now market is returning. It is, you know, with all this consolidation here, market is facing resistance to break above this. But what if it doesn't break above this point as we expect? Market can still give, you know, an M pattern here, then push back to the downside, and here maybe with consolidation it might bounce off from here before it breaks above, or yet still come and break this zone. And when market break this zone, now it has given us a lower high instead of a higher low, and that means market have changed its direction. So we'll definitely just be looking for a retest of this zone, then we start buying, we will start selling. So we have a two-way confirmation here. Either market breaks above this point to the upside or breaks below this recent low to the downside, and if it breaks above that one to the upside, we're definitely gonna be buying, and it breaks above this one, so we're gonna be selling. But as to where market is now, taking any decision either to buy or to sell will be very risky, because it's actually in a consolidative zone. It is in a consolidative zone, and for those who know about trading, you know it's not always advisable to trade when market is ranging. Allow market to give you a clear and a well-defined direction before you can take your entry. So these are the two possible things you are looking forward to: either a break above this zone to the upside and we look for a retest and keep buying, or a break below this recent low after forming the M pattern, and then we look for possibilities for a sell. That is all we can I think pick out for on the it doesn't need more analysis. It doesn't need much analysis. Anything you are doing within this zone can be seen as gambling, because you actually you don't know what the market is about to do here. So the highest thing is just to wait for market to give a clear and a well-defined direction, and you hop in, and then definitely will have a good trade and a good risk reward at that. So if you find value from this content, make sure you follow me, you give a like button, so this video can also be recommended to many other people that it will help them. So we are not just here to give you fish, but to teach you how to catch fish. So this is your boys Fields FX, and signing out. I'll see you in the next video.